friends, I'm Beck. I'm here to make science, technology, engineering and math simple and exciting for young women. This week we have a treat. We are interviewing two women in data. You will meet Anna, who is a data scientist in CoreLogic, and you will meet Nhan, who is a data lead in digitization at Telstra. These two women are hilarious. Sometimes they are super similar, other times they're so different, it's amusing. You'll laugh along the way, you'll hear about what it's like to work in data, what that actually means, what they do every day that gets them excited, how they make the world a better place, also what advice they have for young women. So enjoy. Follow us on Instagram, subscribe here, and let us know if you have any other questions. Your LinkedIn was it felt like a mixed bag. It feels like you've done everything. Like you had trade marketing, you had media optimization, operational stuff, and then you've studied urban planning and a bit of psychology, and then economics as well, which is quite unusual. You know, people often pick a path and then pursue that.
The job I do at the moment is quite interesting in that it's multifaceted. So there's a technical component, which is building proof of concept reports, going into the data and trying to answer questions that the banks have, which might be things like, you know, how is the current pandemic impacting property prices in certain areas? How do different lockdown levels impact property prices, just to use a really current example. So what I do is valuation strategy, quite technical, quite dry sounding, kind of interesting when you're doing it, makes people's eyes glaze over at a party. And then the third bit of what I do, which is the bit that I really like and the bit that probably is more technical, is kind of the wild ideas and the proof of concepts. As an example, back in January, we were getting a lot of requests about bushfire impact. How much of my portfolio has been impacted? What am I going to be up for in terms of mortgage relief or repayment holidays or insurance losses? So we have a geospatial team that creates shapefiles. They pulled all the NASA burn area shapefiles and aggregated them together so we could actually get a nationwide view of which parts of the country have been burnt. I then overlaid that on our property data so we could see which properties sat within that, and then we could produce reports showing which areas have been impacted, how many properties in a client's portfolio had been impacted, what was the dollar value of that, what was the dollar value of the rebuild costs, where did they have insurance shortfalls.
Sounds so impactful, like you're literally understanding how thousands of lives were impacted by the bushfires and helping people to make decisions on how to support that. That's massive.
So I really enjoy that component because these sort of proof of concept projects are usually more about helping the banks to manage a situation, and if we can provide them with good information, it can actually help them to look after the customers better. We're doing another one on women in home ownership, which is really interesting, and just looking at, you know, across Australia, what proportion of property is owned by women, on their own as opposed to with a male partner, and what the characteristics are of those properties, and, you know, do women make better property investors? Interesting questions.
The role I do at the moment is equal customer data insight lead for B2B digital transformation at Telstra. My key responsible is manipulate data from multiple data sources and translate the complex data and business feedback into visualized automated reporting solutions.
What do you enjoy about it?
The thing I enjoy most could be make the complex to become simple, make the mess of my data become very organized, helpful for our analysis and insight.
So I was very interested in why people do what they do. My father was a brand strategy consultant, and he was horrified at the idea of me going off and doing the touchy-feely psychologist thing.
By the way, I did psychology, and my dad was the same. He's like, you should be doing accounting. And I was like, but I care about people.
So it sounds like a very, very similar trajectory there. So yeah, by the time I finished school, I was always quite good at maths and quite good at English. So when I finished school, Dad wanted me to do something mathsy and accounting-y, sensible. And I wanted to do psychology and English literature. So we made a compromise, which is I started a double degree, which was commerce and arts.
I did exactly the same thing. This is crazy.
So there's probably a common theme with dads and daughters. We can see in this.
You're in a data role now, but your studies were quite different. You did information systems at university, and then later on you did international business. Why did you start off studying information systems?
I just want to get a job where I can earn a lot of money to help my parents. That is my dream when I was young. I chose my degrees in foreign language at the beginning. So before my information system is a foreign language degree. I study major in English, also do French, Chinese, and Russian. Ask me about the other language. I can't remember any of them now. But then, like in my last year of that first degree, I found the scholarship in New Zealand offer for multiple degrees, and I just applied one, and then I went for the interview, and luckily I got the scholarship. I went to New Zealand. I got no idea about business information system, what the career it will be. My husband, he advised me. He said that if you study that degree, you could work in any industry you want to be, including banking, finance, telco. So he listed me like a list of industry where I can work with. I can earn good money after graduation. Yeah. So no good dreaming or anything. Very realistic.
You just thought, there's a scholarship here, so someone will pay for me to study, and then I'll do a degree where I can earn a lot of money.
Yeah.
Did my first year of a combined degree at Auckland University. Really enjoyed everything except accounting, which ironically I was extremely good at, but I hated with a passion. The very, very rigid nature of it. And I realised I couldn't do a commerce degree without doing at least 3 more accounting papers, and that made me want to, poke myself in the eye with my pen. So I changed to an arts degree only because I could actually do economics as a major in an arts degree.
I felt the same. Like accounting just didn't feel alive for me. Like economics, one of my biggest regrets actually is not doing economics at university, because it is so much about move this and this happens. Like, why did that happen? Well, it probably happened because of these. It just felt so dynamic and exciting. So yeah, I envy your decision to go down the economics path.
I was struggling. I don't understand because of the first year you need to learn all the foundation of IT and business, right? Because my degree is combined of business and information system. First year, I have to learn all of the basic things like business law, finance, accounting, information system. Most of my classmates were Kiwis, so they are local people. They learn all the basic knowledge subject from their high school. Right? But for me, I got no idea. I learned linguistics before, and I learned math, physics before. Yeah. I got no idea about those knowledge and background, right? That's why I feel very struggling. My English as well. So when I learned what the lecturer explained in the class, I got no idea. I can't follow them, especially business law, right? our professor, he speak law like I got no idea. So he explained it quickly. Then I feel nervous, and I try to overcome it by reading the textbook when I come before I come to the class. So I read and then I have to read the lecture notes after class. Some of like business law, he doesn't give us lecture no, so I have to borrow the classmate no. So one of my classmates, see handwriting is very quickly. I borrow it and then I read, I learn, I do it in something people do. Like for one chapter, people can do the same chapter for the same chapter, right? My classmate can do it 1 hour or so. I have to do it like double or triple time.
Yeah.
For the same assignment, they can do it quickly for a couple of days. It takes me like a couple of weeks. I spend a lot of time in the library to read this book, that book, and then that's why I end up better later on.
Did you do things on the side? Did you do, work experience, internships, work?
Yeah, I did. I actually started working at the beginning of my third year. So my third year turned into a third and fourth year. So I spread it out part-time over 2 years. And I actually started working initially for a friend of my dad's who had an ad agency, and they did advertising and they did some research. And so I was one of those really annoying people in a record store with a microphone up saying, "Can I ask you questions?" Literally in a record store, because it was doing a project for EMI Music.
Did you find it stressful when you were in that phase doing the work and the studies? Like, do you remember being stressed, or were you happy to be working? Like, what did that feel like? I don't know if I would have been brave enough to try and balance the two.
I do remember a lot of late nights and being quite tired and trying to juggle. I don't know that it was necessarily more stressful than being a full-time student, because when you're a full-time student, that's all that's going on. You're so focused when you get to exams, and it's so important that you pass them. But if you've also got a presentation due the next day, I think it kind of diffuses the stress across multiple things.
How did you actually source like the opportunities? Was it, just like, "Dad, can you get me opportunities?" and it eventuated, or did you have to go looking for certain companies and interview? Like, was there any hustle? Did you have to struggle at any point?
I didn't with the first few. I guess I was lucky, being a student, I wasn't exactly charging the rates that a research company would be charging. So I was, $20 an hour or something. And I think the first couple of jobs, they're like, "Oh, look, it's Howard's daughter, we'll give her a chance." And they're like, "She's actually reasonably good, and she costs us half what proper researcher will cost us. So we'll just keep using her because, it was both a price positioning and then also being able to actually get the work done.
So get the work experience with CSIRO, like that's such an impressive company.
Yeah. The good relationship with my husband. So actually, my husband's supervisor is work for CSIRO. His supervisor recommend me for the role,
Cool.
which is really helpful. It's like research experience for me. Yeah.
That's one thing Nadisha and I were talking through the other day is just like how important it is to just be good at what you do, no matter who you meet, because you don't know who will give you opportunities.
Yeah. It is, the connection is really important.
Yeah. What advice would you give your 20-year-old self?
Keep learning, don't forget to have fun, and remember to have a bit of a life outside of study.
Study and do work experience.
What did you start doing at university that you're glad you still do today?
Reading a lot of books. I still do a lot of reading books nowadays.
What did you start doing at university that you're glad you still do today?
Rock climbing. I started climbing because there was a climbing gym on campus. And I don't do it very often anymore because we've got 2 preschoolers and they're not very good to take out to rock cliffs. But it's a great way to sort of, I guess, you know, stay fit and relax your mind at the same time.
What area of your work would you say is really hot right now?
Ooh, probably machine learning in terms of being a buzzword, which is really just, you know, fairly complicated modeling.
What's hot right now? Like, what's a really popular skills and job area?
I think the area right now is data scientist. I think people a lot of opportunity for kids if they do data science or statistics.
Yeah.
Because as you know, right, a lot of we got a lot of data now. Social media, we got big data everywhere, every industry online. A lot of opportunity for data scientists.
What area is even fun, and what's going to grow? You know,
what I think is probably going to grow is sciences, health sciences particularly. You know, biology is, as we're seeing the impact that we have on the planet, I think there'll be more and more jobs about trying to come up with, you know, alternative food, you know, sources for food security. You know, health management now that we've got really, really large populations and large aging populations. In terms of what would be fun, gosh, I think anything around the UX design or graphic design. We've got friends who do special effects, you know, the CGI stuff, and that looks like it's amazingly fun. Probably not hugely great for job security, but yeah, looks like it would be fascinating.
Thanks, Meg.
no worries. It was so good to see you as well and actually talk.
You too. Yeah.
Really lovely. Thank you for finding the time, Nhan, especially when you guys are so busy.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Thanks, Meg. Thank you. Take care. Thanks.
See ya.
Bye.
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 And that's it for this week. Hopefully you found that as funny and just interesting as what I did. Next week, we'll look at how to create a LinkedIn profile for when you're ready to start looking for jobs. Follow us on Instagram, subscribe here, subscribe at our website as well if you want to stay up to date with the latest videos and articles that we send out to simplify science, technology, engineering, and math. See you next time.